to continue with Parshat Lech Lecha. We are in the book on Lech Lecha, page 6, Breshit Yud Beit, Genesis 12, Pasuk Hey, verse 5. The Pasuk begins on page 6 in the text, but the interpretation is on page 7. Vayikach, so this, and he took with the Munach. So this is going to separate us from what's happened from before and mostly move us forward into something that is new and different. Avram made the final preparations for the prolonged journey, and he took with him accompanying personnel willing to share his goal, as indicated by the shape of the reading mark. So the way that we've written it here is not as clearly a clean break as we would like to see with the Munach, and certainly Avram, according to all of the Parshanim, is making people along the way who to convert to his way of thinking, to his ideology, to come with him. But again, I'm a little puzzled as to why it's not so clearly written here that all of these people are making a clean break with their past. That's what he's doing. He's taking people who have changed from who they were before into people who are truly his followers from this point. So I think that's sort of implied in here, but it's not as clearly stated as perhaps it should be, which certainly is defined by the note. Avram, and we'll remember there's two tlishot, there's two notes that look like this, one that is facing in the one direction, one that is facing in the other direction. The two notes have different characteristics about them. The tlisha gdola is the opposite of this one. It comes at the beginning of the word only. It's always on the first syllable. It's facing forward. It is a note that you stop and pause on, and you stand on the word by itself. It focuses us backwards because it starts at the beginning of the word. Tlisha ktana, the one that is on this word here, comes at the end of the word. It is a masharet. It is a note that serves the next note, so it does not have a pause after it, and it leads us forward into what's going to go afterwards. So this is telling of a story of continuation rather than a pause. And when we're talking about Avram's name, we in the context of him going out of one place, we want to say that he is moving forward. So obviously it wouldn't be him as the end point. It wouldn't be the Tlisha Gdola. It would be the Tlisha Ktana that's saying that the story is moving forward from here, and what he's going to do is he's going to drag everything with him forward, and it's going to flow into everything else rather than pause there. So number 2, in order to achieve wholehearted support from the associates, Avram explained to them the essence of the matter, and through consultation received the consent of all involved in his group, as shown by the shape and placement of the reading mark. So whenever we have tlisha, we're going to talk about not only the placement of the mark, i.e. that it's at the end, but that it's a masharet, it connects to what's going to come before. And here he's also referencing the shape, in that this is something that is circular with a line that's flowing backwards from it. So he is going to try to bring everybody together with him, but he's going to allow them to perhaps have discourse with him. So it's not just completely a capitulation of his view to theirs. Rather, it is him who is leading with their input so that they can be on board. So they're giving what they have, and then finally they form a consensus, which is what moves forward.
So I guess that's why there's a Tlisha Ktana instead of, let's say, a Mercha, because the Mercha also scoops everything forward in a gentle way.
But this is much more emphasized, and we're also again integrating the concept of the shape of the Tlisha, so that we're actually using that to say that there is consensus.
The circle is closed.
Circular discussion.
Et Sarai with a Kadma. So this is a note that fits together, Kadma v'Azla. The two notes complement each other. This focuses attention on the word, but tells us that it is going to continue onward and move with the next word that comes with it. Number 3, with Sarai, he found the most positive support for his proposal, as stressed by the directional shape of the reading mark. And again, this is something that pushes forward and upwards. So we're saying that directional shape, forward and upwards, is again the way that Sarai is focusing the discourse and focusing the followers. Ishto with the closing Azla, so the note follows the other one. It again emphasizes the word, emphasizes the concept that the word is going to stand for, but then it pauses after. Number 4, not only was she his wife in the sense of a physical counterpart, but by her female intuition and understanding is capitalized, and we'll talk about that in a second, she was also a spiritual equivalent. Frequently she rose above Avram through her personal advantages, as denoted by the closing shape of the comparable reading mark. So there is an element called Bina, and women are supposed to excel in their connectedness to that form of understanding. And when we're talking about Sarai, we have later references in the other Mefarshanim and in the Midrash that says that she truly had a greater depth and level of prophecy than he did. And that is why, again, we're using two notes, Sarai and Ishto, Kadma and Azla, that both come on top of the word to tell you that this is the superlative form, this is the higher form. And while she both completes him physically, she also completes him spiritually in the most uplifted of ways. And hence we have notes that come on top of the word, and we close the phrase with her completing him. Viet lot with a munach. So this is going to be a rather sharp demarcation. It's going to move forward into another chapter that we're going to talk about. Avram and Sarai discussed the anticipated journeys, and with Lot, whom they considered an adopted son, they concluded their decision as suggested by the shape of the reading mark. So the loyalty that they owed to Lot is different from the way that they are treating all of their other followers, because they feel a family connection to him. So he is a different category, and that's why he gets a munach. He gets a complete separation, and he still comes together with them on the journey, but he comes not as necessarily somebody who has adopted fully the philosophy. He's just coming because there's another obligation to him. So he fits into another category, and yet he still comes along and is influenced by it. Ben Achiv, son of his brother, with a Rivi'i. So this is a note that's going to have a pause afterwards. It's going to have a broadness and a focus on it. Number 6, besides, Avram considered it his duty to take care of Lot, because he was the only son of his brother and a brother of his wife, as pointed out by the broad meaning of the reading mark. So we're taking the width of the Rivi'i, the fact that it starts at a point at the top and then widens to say not only is he Ben Achiv, he is not only the son of his brother, but then we're going to take the word Achiv, the word brother, and we're going to say, oh, he's also the brother of Sarai. So we're going to take that second word and we're going to use the broadness of the Rivi to say he's a brother in many senses. He's a brother with some depth to him, with some width to him, as so he's not only a son of a brother, he is also a brother. And that's why we use the Rivi there. Viet kol rechusham, and with all their assets. Harley, this is for you, and with all their assets. You got that?
I heard it.
This is a pashta. This is a note that is going to move us forward. Number 7, in the anticipation of the prolonged tour, Avram assembled all indispensable necessities, and with all their assets to be able to survive the initial hardships, as expressed by the reverse direction of the bipartite reading.
Bipartite?
I think we're going to pause for a second.